So following my last video, I've got a ton of comments that ask me why I have only one, why didn't, complete the circuit. Obviously I put a wire inside the electromagnet, but it's just left there. So, first of all, potentially maybe I will do it. It's one of the, it's actually very interesting, a whole new topic, but before I'll refer to it, because it's something really outlandish and new. It's new to you because I haven't spoken about it, but I have done some preliminary experiments on the matter. But let's focus just on this case. So it's not entirely true that you actually need to complete a circle. Usually when people create simple magnets in home environment, they do it with a simple screwdriver. And that's the way that I've done it a couple of days ago, with the tree electromagnet. And it doesn't complete a circle. It's not true that, in order to, what's true is that if you want a current to flow, of course it needs to be you need a circle, so there will be a flow. But in order just to create the magnet in itself, you don't need the complete circuit. It's interesting but practically, completing the circuit with this kind of structure is a little bit tricky, because it means that I need because there is a fluid inside this container. So it's not it's not based on it's not thin. It's like a thick fluid because it's mixed with the sugar and other and salt actually, and all sort of and iron particle, many metal particles from prolonged exposure to electrolysis actually. So you can see it's very thick. So it's probably, it's possible that, to get the wire from below actually and to complete the circle. But for now, I don't really see the need. What I want actually is, I want to create an electromagnet. I'm not certain that I need the current in itself. What I do want is that the current will be flow through the neurons, and arguably for that you need they don't need any conductor at all. They can close their own circuit, even though it's a little bit outlandish and it should be still proved. But if I'll close the circuit with the wire that you just see, I'm not certain that the neurons will. Maybe they will create their own parallel circle. I don't know. There are many questions here, and really we are plowing in the dark. So it's all very preliminary. But I would say that, according to my understanding, it's not really certain, whether I should or should not close the circuit. Obviously, if I want current, yes, I should close the circuit. If I want current to flow through the conductor, I should close the circuit. But then what's next? What's going to do? I'm not sure, even if we will have. I'm not sure that even a current will be flow through the circuit. We have the magnetic. We have the magnetic fields will be from both sides, as I understand. But will it create enough circuit? Is it a viable way? To create electric circuit? I don't know. I would suggest that it's a very promising way to do it with actually AC. I think it's much more because then the voltage and the amperes both the current and volts that flow through the wire that is looped around the tube will be of much higher volts and much higher amperes, presumably, potentially. So this will be we will be able to do some kind of reverse engineering of the current. Of course it's created by spinning of electromagnet in the whatever power plant that is that supplies electricity to this house. So presumably we can do the other way around and use the reverse motor, I would say, that will convert that through the loops. With the loops will create a changing and ever changing with electrical with alternative current, an ever changing magnetic force that will be able to this will be able to this way we will be able to create a flow inside an internal conductor, and that way the internal conductor will not be directly connected to the socket, and this will have several it will have several advantages. Mostly that, I mean, wherever we're connected to an external power source, there is always the issue of the connectors. Like, I mean, either they get too hot, I mean, or which happens a lot with electrolysis, and they start to make steam, and the plastic is melting, and the iron is melting, and so there is a whole lot of issues that, I mean, potentially could be avoided if we use this method of reversing between magnetism and current. So it's a viable option, but I'm not sure that it is actually what I want to do now. Because what I want to do now is actually to experiment on the relationship between magnetic force and the cloning. And this is this is a little bit of a different subject. I would say that, I mean, in the past, I certainly thought about many. In the past, I mean, when I under arrest in my mother's apartment, I searched and I conducted several experiments with alternative current, but I didn't document any of it. I think maybe just short videos, but I haven't spoken about it and didn't document it because it was all preliminary. But I mean, I conducted several very interesting experiments that in those experiments, actually the intention was actually to create like a closed loop using something a little bit like that, like something that is conductive. You see, this is a hose of like a metal hose, so it's conductive, but you can also like create a loop with that, and you can also wrap a very long wire around it. I had very long wires, and the idea was to use AC because I needed a lot of I needed strong electrical force. The idea was to incite the neurons, supposedly like in liquid or like in a thick liquid inside the hose, to incite them to actually run, to flow, not just to create electric flow, but to actually create a flow of material inside the hose, in that and presumably, so this will be able to push perhaps like a small a piece of metal inside the hose to create kind of like a perpetuum mobile that will also allow to generate electricity in all sort of an interesting way. This is all very interesting, but it's first it's preliminary. Second, this is under the category of using the neurons to create, as support, agents in a model of a power plant. I've spoken about it in the very, I touched the issue. I've just said that I have several, ideas. So it's all under this umbrella of how to use the neurons the nanobots to create, as part of a magical power plant, or very, alien power plant. So all these ideas are under that category. It's an incredibly interesting category, and of course, if it's actually be able to actually prove it, it will be amazing. But it's not really of my main interest right now, because currently I'm not really in. I'm less inclined to. I'm less in the mode of prove things. In the past it was more let's prove that they can clone things, legs of bugs and things like that. But now I'm really more practical. I want to actually produce stuff, produce material objects that will be able to sell it actually, like gold and diamonds, things like that. And I think that it's very possible and viable. But what hinders me now is mostly the issue of cloning. I need more neurons, and I need more of them, and I need so. And also I need to understand better how to harness the electricity in presumably better ways than electrolysis, which is very cumbersome. Even though it's still promising, and we are not done with that, with the electrolysis issues. And we've seen that, it can create amazing stuff, and we created actually a whole glass of the famous black goo or brown goo that you like so much. So, there were also achievements in this front, very recently. So it's not that we abandon electrolysis, but I think that, I should be able to understand how to harness electromagnetism in a more elegant way than electrolysis. So So I'm less like in a way. I mean, I don't want to open like a new. I mean, to continue the new front of how to generate electricity. It's incredibly interesting, and I'm sure it's. I mean, something. I mean that belong to the future for certain, but it's not. I'm not sure that currently, with my extremely limited means and extremely limited resources and under arrest and with no money, it will be very difficult for me to actually create like a model of a power plant. And even though I think it's possible, but yeah, I mean, I've thought about it, and the idea of creating like a closed loop, not only of like electric current, but also like of something that can actually move inside the loop, would be amazing. And I wouldn't be surprised actually if this is really a long shot. If the actual stargates, I mean, operating in some kind of like, I mean, I've never seen it in my life, but I wouldn't be surprised if stargates are actually operating in such a way that, I mean, many neos are, I mean, circling like in a closed loop, but it's a long shot. I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong. I would say, I mean, I don't know if I ever spoke about it, but the neos are completely aware of the issue of wormholes. And they even have their own representation of a wormhole. It's something actually similar to that, to this candle, like the candle holder. And they actually, I mean, in one of two of the videos, you can actually see them. You can see the symbol that they created themselves, like in microscopic scale, but very nicely. You can see the symbol of, and it's extremely elaborated, so it's not like a coincidence. It's not like, I mean, something that you can be wrong about. It's very elaborated. You can see the symbol of the wormhole, which is something like that, but very nice and very elaborated. Maybe I'll search in one of the old videos, and of course you can ask me, so if you know the symbol of the wormhole, you can tell them to create one. But my assumption is that first, of course, it's possible, but second, I mean, I almost certain in 100% that the size of the wormhole is greatly correlated to the amount of energy that the neurons actually have. So even if they can create wormholes, it's probably something in a nanoscopic scale. So I'm not sure it's going to be helpful for now, but yes, I mean, I'm pretty certain that, I mean, given enough energy and a way to, I mean, to supply the neurons with the energy, so yes, you can show them the symbol of the wormhole and they will create one. But perhaps there are other ways. As I said, perhaps you can do it, I mean, with a circuit, like when they like round, like, I mean, when they are constantly running in a hose, like in circuits, and perhaps it's something that is combined. Like, I mean, many times in order for them to do something, it's not, I mean, command is not enough. They are not little magicians that you just, I mean, you say abracadabra or hocus pocus and it happens. I mean, you need a symbol, but you also need conditions and material and energy. So perhaps it's something that is, perhaps, I mean, the actual way to create a wormhole is something, using the neurons is something which is a mix, I mean, that is, I mean, both of, I mean, that contains several, like, different, constructions. Like, you need the symbol, and you need the electric circuits, and you need the hose, and maybe some other stuff. But all this is really, I mean, I have no intention to create a power plant, and I really have and certainly no intention to create a wormhole, since I don't think that I will ever, I mean, in the short, like, I mean, in the near future, I will not have the required energy. And also, even if I do, I mean, so what's next? I mean, I'm not going to pass through the wormhole. It's going to be really, really risky. I'm not an idiot as the Israelis, you know, that do things recklessly. So, I mean, this all belongs to, like, I mean, it's like the missile fuel. I mean, I'm sure that the news could create, like, could help, I mean, enhance fuels that will greatly, like, improve the efficiency of missiles that should, like, escape, like, I mean, the critical, like, escape, like, Earth. I mean, escape the gravity of Earth. But so what? I mean, it's not in my agenda, because I have no money at all. So, I mean, why fantasize about, like, you know, missiles and power plant and wormholes when I don't have money to buy like a bottle of soda? So I mean, everything will have its time and place, and right now I try to focus on really very, very practical issues. But it's good to have theories. It's as I said many times, it's good to have, like, a theories in the back of your head, so in the future I will know, like, where to continue. I mean, when I have more resources and conditions for, like, larger scale R&D.